Hey, I'm Rob Adler, and welcome to Understanding Upstate, the podcast dedicated to exploring what makes upstate New York such a unique place. Each week, my co-host Jim Search and I dive into a new upstate topic to better understand what's up upstate. And this week, even though I just said we dive into a new topic, we're kind of returning to an old topic, but with new things, because we're doing part 2 of Upstate Hauntings.
Yes.
And you better believe I was deep in those newspaper stacks this week. Got a lot of clippings for us today, and then a couple things from a lovely book that I found, written by not Arch Merrill, but I think someone Arch probably would have been a real big fan of.
A contemporary? Is it a contemporary of Arch?
Actually, different generations, but I think it's possible they were working at the same time. No, I actually think, maybe a contemporary. This book was published in 1959, which I think is kind of towards the end of Arch's run. But yeah, we'll say, you know what? We'll call him a contemporary.
For the sake of discussion here today, we'll call him that. Let's do that. For
the sake of discussion, you Speedy Freaks and Rattlesnake Beats should subscribe, rate, and review this show. It helps us out a lot. We're coming up on a whole year of episodes. Next week's episode will be 1 year of Understanding Upstate. I had to check the name of our podcast in my notes as I was saying that. Wow.
I was on a show, and the host asked me what he wanted me to say. And I almost said Understanding Upstate instead of Upstate Understandings.
It's
not that either one shouldn't be plugged. However, when you are at a comedy show, and perhaps those who are like,
sure,
I'd like to hear. What if I want to hear more from that? Upstate Understandings might be.
Sure. We've created a complex media empire over here.
Did.
With a podcast and a documentary with the same name, and you making a comedy album with the reverse name. So it's
right.
Hey, look, if you plug it into Google, you're going to get one of them, right? It doesn't matter the combination. Hopefully you get all of them, but at least one of them.
Well, I was going to say, as far as Google goes, we've got that cornered, right?
Hell yeah. I don't know about Bing, but Google, absolutely.
Well,
absolutely.
We'll leave, unfortunately, it'd be great if we got Bing, right? Because Binghamton.
Yeah. Oh, man. I'm switching exclusively to being a Bing user only because of that correlation.
I'm going to start saying Yahoo it instead of Google it. Why don't you go Yahoo that?
That sounds like a real fuck you.
Yeah,
I like it.
Not even. It's like go research it, but use a outdated search engine that will maybe not give you the best result. But go Yahoo it.
I mean, Google's using AI now, and it sucks. So maybe it's like I don't think Yahoo's gotten better, but Google maybe has gotten so much worse that Yahoo is perhaps better.
Well, you're gonna if you hear it from me, just know it's not coming from the best place. If I tell you to Yahoo something, I probably don't give a fuck if you find it or not.
I like it.
Yeah.
You know what you might give a fuck about today? I've got a little bit of an upstate update today, Jim.
Well, hit us with it. You gotta hit us with the music, man.
Oh, for sure. I get it like 10 BPM faster each week. It's getting better and better. I'm not even practicing it. I swear. All right. Upstate update. It's I was not upstate. I did just go back home though. It's my home state, Minnesota, and it reminded me of why I like upstate New York so much. Grew up in the suburbs of Minneapolis. It's a pretty industrial town. Very was hanging out in some pretty blue collar areas. A lot of great dive bars.
Sure.
And it's just lovely to be home. But also, man, just really, reminded me of why I love upstate New York so much. And I have one unrelated story because it's fucking crazy. I gotta tell it, but I'll tie it in. I promise.
All right.
Last week, we were talking about Sterling Fest 2024, I mentioned pinball, right?
Yes.
Famous.
You did.
Famous, I almost said a famous Rod Serling pinball machine. In a way it is. It's a Twilight Zone machine. I was playing a little pinball back in Minnesota, and I was at a pinball bar and walked in. Was talking with some high school buddies. I used to have a pinball machine in my basement. We were talking about it. It's like, oh, it's so much fun to play on it. Da, 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 da. We turn a corner, and there is not just a version of the machine. It was the machine that was in my basement.
Really?
Yes. And the way it could be verified is there's like a little blip on the right flipper button, probably a cigarette burn, but like everything looked right. And I was like, really, I don't know. I think it's it. I don't know. Feel the buttons. Like, holy shit. It's the pinball machine. So I had this very kind of a Twilight Zone experience of getting to replay with like the friends who I would have played it with on this old machine, which I've thought about, dare I say, dreamt about playing again. So just a delightful...
Yeah, this is
a delightful trip back home.
This is like Tim Leary's bar shutting down. Right? Like you play the game and then you go back to high school and you like relive the yesteryear. Now you don't get arrested in this scenario because
no, it's true. It's true.
Tim did get found the long arm of the law because he did break it. He did break into the building that once held it, but this is a more like PG G-rated Tim Leary's bar shutting down.
Rob Adler's old pinball machine
is found in a bar.
At the bar.
I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot to fit in a title, but you know what?
Yeah,
we're gonna make it work. We're gonna make this work for you.
I'm gonna write up a script. We're gonna get this puppy into production. It's gonna be great. It's going to be great. You know what's also going to be great? This episode.
That's right.
Jim, are you ready to get to some ghost stories that are, dare I say it, ripped from the headlines? Much like a couple of heads we're going to hear that got ripped off.
Oh, man. Later. Terrifying. This is, I don't know if, I think I'm ready. I'm pretty sure I'm ready.
Right, we're going to ease into it.
I'm from upstate New York. I've been terrified before, so...
As I've been known to do, I just wanted to find some old ghost stories, right? So I went to two places. One, I got a book, which again we'll kind of talk about in a little bit in the second part of this episode. But the first thing I did was just dove into the newspaper archives that are online to find. I put in so many different keywords, the occult, ghost stories, headless ghost. Best search term, just ghost. Really gave up the goods.
Keep it simple.
There. And it, like you know, I didn't want to find just murder stories. That's a little too real. and we covered one of those in the last Hauntings episode.
Here's the thing: is that Dateline has upstate New York thoroughly represented. If you want some real ass stories, Dateline's got them. Anyway,
no, we're not going to do better than Dateline, but at least when it comes to murders in upstate New York, not yet. Anyhow, check back when we hit year 2.
Yeah, we're covered. We could. Hey, listen, there's a pocket we could jump into if so desired. Yeah. Anyway,
that's our parachute. We'll pull the cord if we need to. Anyway, this first article or first headline comes from the Herkimer Democrat, Wednesday, October 17th, 1894. Some of the people of Columbia, which is kind of in the Mohawk River Valley area, not far from Cooperstown, are quite excited over a ghost which seemed to appear at a certain farmhouse near the center.
Tell us. Which one?
First, yeah, I feel like a certain farmhouse, like everyone in Columbia knows which farmhouse we're talking about.
This is real. This is real. Page 6 sort of energy right here. This is a part of the newspaper where it's just like one paragraph, little articles, just like they're just throwing out the weekly news or the daily news. All right, so it was first seen by some threshers who were threshing at that place. Go figure, threshers threshing. I think that's when you use like a scythe, maybe? I don't know. Or are you a scyther then? Who am I to say? Right. Who am I?
Anywho, perhaps the next time they see it, they can describe it more fully. But we trust it will not frighten them again. All right, what's your scare meter at, Jim? Pretty spooked?
After this,
1 to 10. 1 to 10. Where are we at?
After the threshing the threshing scenario of 1894. I guess so. We gotta scale this, right? So like zero be
sure, 0.
We'll call 0 waiting on the train. Right, waiting for the subway train. Not scared.
Sure.
You know what? Going through my wallet. That's 0. Right. We're not afraid. Up to 10, and 10 would be, I guess,
all the Western beefs have closed.
Yes, all the Wegmans have been tanked. The Wegmans family was killed in a plane crash, and now they're all gone. Right. So that is that's 10.
Okay.
I would say on the off chance that some people in Columbia were a little excited at what seems to be a non-threatening ghost, because we've not talked anything about this ghost doing anything. We'll give this a 2.
Okay, we're at a 2.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
let's head to the Ogdensburg Journal to see how this rates. March 29th, 1894. Headline, a real live ghost. The Carthage Tribune says the bustling hamlet of Benson Mines, which is kind of in the Adirondacks, is all agog over a ghost story which has been rife there for some time and which has aroused no little excitement, not to say fear and disgust. Some time ago, the man who was employed as section foreman on the East Division of the C&A Railway died at Benson Mines. He was an unusually heavy sleeper, and when in response, rumor says he snored so that he could be heard several blocks away. Men employed nights there during the past few weeks have been much puzzled to hear a perfect representation of the dead section foreman snoring, accompanied at times by weird and even fiendish sounds. Okay. At other times, this mysterious apparition takes a hammer in hand and the sound of the heavy blows can be heard. A man who operates a mill a short distance down the railroad was informed of the superhuman occurrence and the fear and apprehensions that had been awakened there. Not being much of a believer in ghost stories, he induced a number of men to go there and investigate. They placed pickets all around and commenced a systematic search. They were soon rewarded, for they distinctly heard the snorts of the supposed dead. But contrary to expectations, they made a rush for the place whence the sound proceeded, but only saw the coat tail of a man disappearing. Deeply regretting the fact that they had not arrived sooner, as they intended to give the ghost ship a royal reception, they departed with a firm conviction that the story was a great hoax.
All right.
Where are we at? 0 to 10.
So there's a ghost with sleep apnea, sounds like, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's got a CPAP mask that, is just snoring the night away. And then it'd been nice to get a little bit more on the fiendish sounds, right? What does that mean in 1894? Right? Like, what is it women talking? Is that what they mean? Like, is it women showing an opinion? Are those
no.
Are those the fiendish sounds we're talking about for the late 1800s? No. And so, but then they found out it's not real, right?
Well, Jim, they're like, I think it's a hoax.
Okay.
I have some more evidence about the old Benson Mines ghost. So we'll see.
Oh, there's more, you're saying, to this?
There's more newspaper stories?
No, to the Benson Mines ghost. That's what I was saying.
Well, there's not to this article, but there are more stories to the Benson Mines ghost.
Okay.
So should we hold your rating until you've heard all the
I was going to say
all the news that's fit to print?
I'm going to need I don't want to do a disservice to the Benson Mines ghost if there's more intel on that. So yeah, we'll put a pin in that and we'll circle back, as they say in corporate America.
Well, I was delighted to find more newspaper articles about the Benson Mines ghost, and I wasn't typing that in.
Okay.
This was a phenomenon over many months.
Interesting.
throughout upstate New York. So next headline is going to be from the St. Lawrence Herald, May 11th, 1894. An excursion was advertised to run to Benson Mines on Saturday to give all an opportunity to investigate the ghost story, but it failed to go, as the man who projected the enterprise and had secured about $150 for a guarantee failed to appear, and the railroad company would not start the train without a guarantee in advance. So people were so fired up about this ghost. I think Benson Mines basically they needed a special train to go there. They needed to hire the train to go there.
Sure.
Maybe because it was a Saturday or something. Maybe it only ran on the weekdays. But they were going to get people to go up and investigate the train or investigate the ghost. But again, he failed to show up. The final sentence is, it was rumored that there would be a prize fight, and as a consequence, a large number of people were prepared to go. So I was going to fight the ghost? I don't know.
Yeah. I think now I'm more intrigued about the prize fight.
Yeah.
What's the prize? And are we fighting the guy that fleeced you for $150? Or what?
Yeah. How do you have a prize fight with a ghost? Like, what can a ghost win?
I mean, can they even fight? I mean, I guess they could fight, right? Because they can throw shit at you and
Sure.
Psychologically, it's more, I guess, psychological warfare, right?
It's a mental fight.
Interesting. Interesting.
Well, I have the final entry in this saga. This comes from December of 1894 in the North Tribune and Governor Herald Times. Again, 3 different newspapers all across the state.
Sure.
Across like 9 months. Beware the ghost. The haunted roundhouse, which erstwhile did duty at Benson Mines, now serves at Governor. No other update. The ghost has moved. Ghost has moved towns.
He's over it. He's over the mines, right? Same old walls, same old, same pits, same vibe. I feel you.
Oh, yeah. You gotta mix it up a little bit, you know. Benson Mines ghosts. Where are we feeling? 0 to 10.
Well, so I guess if this is the additional wrinkle is that they went to go find the ghost, but then somebody fleeced them for some money, and then the ghost left.
Yeah,
so
the ghost is like, I'm out of here.
So I'm, you know what? I'm going to give this a 3.5, because why would the ghost leave? Is there something scarier than the ghost in there?
I like it. See, I like it.
These are the questions we ask, right?
No, that's good. All right. Well, I got another headline, also from 1894. This is from the Daily Cataract. December 1st. I don't know about that title or that newspaper name, but the Daily Cataract. Title: Lockport's Ghost. Subtitle: Evidently, some of the citizens had been drinking.
You'll have that.
Lockport has another sensation in the way of a ghost. Some reporters say it is a real ghost, and others say it is simply a young man having a little fun. One of the stories goes that a certain athletic young man laid for Mr. Ghost. He did not have to wait long ere the ghost showed up, and the young man walked straight up to the apparition and struck it, but to no effect. For all that he hit was the wind. This frightened him so that he fell in a dead faint on the sidewalk, and it was with some time before he could be brought to. Another story has it that two young men were walking along, and suddenly they saw the ghost. They ran across the street through. I think this copied over weird. They ran across the street to get past the specter, and when safely by, one of the young men began to laugh at the idea of their being frightened, when once more the ghost was in front of them. Of course, nothing could then stop their fright. There are many of these kinds of stories told, but the most likely one is that a young man meeting the ghost and placing a revolver directly under his nose, whereupon the ghost said in a pleading voice, "Please don't shoot!" And when asked what he meant by scaring people in this way, he replied, "It's only a family affair." End of article.
So why are they fucking with this ghost? What?
I don't know. I think I think someone successfully scared at least two groups of people, and then the third person had a gun and pulled it, and the ghost was like, or the person's like, whoa, no, it's just a goof.
Okay.
It's just a goof.
So 0.
Yeah. I mean, having a gun pulled on you in Lockport, I think that's a 9.
Well, but by a ghost, right? By a real person, because if we're talking real people, that's Dateline, right? That's I feel like now we're getting into Dateline territory where people are going after each other with weapons. But as far as the supernatural, I don't know if this is this even super. Sounds like somebody's dressing up and just having a goof, as they would oft say. So I mean, I'm more scared of the people with the guns, and they're not ghosts. So, all
right,
you know what I mean?
Indeed, I do. And again, remember, evidently, some of the citizens had been drinking.
Sure. Okay. Well, I'm scared.
Important subtitle.
Now I'm scared about their alcohol intake.
There you go. Bump it up to a 0.5.
Yeah.
0.5. All right. One more article. This is just a couple excerpts from it. This is from 1982 from the UB Reporter, as in University of Buffalo. It was a neglected old house overgrown with weeds steeped in a bloody, mysterious history. From inside its Victorian hull, passerby would swear they heard the cries and moans of the young family bludgeoned to death by their deranged father over 5 decades ago.
Jeez.
Those during few, yeah.
Now we're talking. All right. Now we're getting into terrifying.
Stick with me. I told you we'd ease into it.
Yeah.
Those daring few who actually ventured into the accursed building left it whiter than the ghosts and spirits they swore they saw. While many would not be surprised to encounter Christopher Lee or Jamie Lee Curtis, which was 2 names I was surprised to. But, like, hey, you pulled two people who endured.
Sure.
Christopher Lee or Jamie Lee Curtis, lurking through the ruins, escaping from spirits, or a murderous madman with an axe, probably the only mortal interested enough in doing battle with the visions of evil, poltergeists, and mischievous goblins would be UB's Clarence Dye, GI. That's Ghost Investigator.
Not General Infantry.
No. And not gastrointestinal.
Right.
Dye, who is director of Veterans Affairs Dye, who is the director of the Veterans Affairs Office, by day began his ghoulish pastime of investigating ghost stories over 7 years ago, and since then, his reputation as an expert in the supernatural has grown faster than one could say Jack-o'-lantern. I can say it pretty fast.
Right.
Calling himself a religious behaviorist, Dye explained that his interest in ghosts and haunted houses is only natural because of the historical relationship between the two.
Interesting.
Okay. We all can justify our weird hobbies in whatever way we want. There is a natural, normal explanation for 19 out of every 20 cases, he noted, explaining that many of the present-day ghost and demon experiences are outgrowths of the current horror craze. Dye submitted that many recent encounters with the undead stem not from historical references, but from the hundreds of recently released horror books and films which populate store shelves and theater screens. He recalled a recent case which he was asked to investigate a haunted house on Buffalo's west side, an area noted for its large old homes. The request had come from a young pregnant woman, Dye said, adding that the house was, on first glance, indeed pretty creepy looking.
Okay.
After combing the home for any signs of the supernatural, Dye came up with about as much concrete evidence as Casper the Friendly Ghost has comrades. Does Casper have a lot of friends, or did he not?
I'm gonna guess he didn't. Right.
Sure.
Using the context clues here, I'm gonna assume that he did not.
But when interviewing the woman, he began to notice similarities between her tale of demonic woe and that of the bestseller, The Amityville Horror.
Oh, this broad was lying. All right.
After discovering she had recently finished the novel, Dye concluded that the house's hauntedness was merely the result of the combination of the reading of the book, the home's architecture, and the woman's single status. Oof! Brutal.
Jeez. You calling her...
Maybe save the relationship judgments.
And
Jesus.
Maybe she didn't like you.
Yeah. Despite Dye's seemingly conclusive evidence to the contrary, the woman refused to discard her notion that the house was inhabited with things that could bump in the night. Her reaction, Dye notes, is only natural.
Well, I feel like they really pulled us in there with young family bludgeoned to death by deranged father, right? Because that is what we call a grab.
Sure.
That sends us down there. So that I'm gonna give like a 5, right? I'm a tough grader. 5. Yeah, okay. I'll give you a 6. Why not?
We're gonna turn the heat up a little bit here because I got a book that I'm gonna start pulling from now. So again, those were all some previous newspaper headlines. Now we're gonna bump on over to a book called Things That Go Bump in the Night, and this was written by a man named Lewis C. Jones. And just a quick bio about him. Lewis C. Jones was an authority on regional folklore and on ghost stories in particular. He was the director of the New York State Historical Association in Cooperstown, New York. He's the author of 3 Eyes on the Past and the editor of Growing Up in the Cooper County, both published by Syracuse University, who published this lovely book. Basically, this is a collection of regional ghost stories from upstate New York. And I think he worked with some students to help source these stories all across upstate New York, which is pretty cool. It's a nice little book. I've got just some quick selections from it, or I have 3 quick selections and then one bigger one. It's actually, I think, one of the most famous ghost stories in upstate New York. It's actually an international ghost story, if you would believe it. But we'll get there.
I can believe it.
And kind of the way this is written, you kind of hear it as I read a couple of these. He strings together similar ghost stories, so some might be a couple of sentences, others might be longer. But they're a little bit. Some of them are a little bit more spooky, which I delighted in. So let's, without further ado, figure out what goes bump of the night, shall we, Jim?
Let's do it.
All right. At the wake of an Albany man named Ferris, he sat up in his coffin, frothing at the mouth. Only a priest could lay his spirit to rest, but the family had great difficulty persuading one to come, for it is known that the priest who lays such a spirit soon dies. Finally, they tell me, a young priest came. He drew a circle on the floor and invited the dead man to step in. As soon as Ferris was inside, the priest knocked him down, and then they put Ferris back in the coffin and went on their wake. But before the year was out, the young priest was dead. End story 1. Jim, where are we at? 0 to 10.
So dead man gets up from coffin.
Frothing at the mouth. Okay. At his wake. At his funeral.
All right. And then priest draw a circle on ground.
Think about how much time between dead relative being up and around to finding at least a day, 24 hours to get I don't know when this happened, but I presume we don't, maybe we have phones. I don't know.
And this happened in Albany?
This indeed happened in Albany.
Yeah, it's terrifying. I don't know if you've ever been through there, but it is our state's capital. And having been through there, I can speak to the depravity that I witnessed firsthand. So just, and again, when you hear a story, you really do pull from life experience to help you relate to the story at hand. All right. So a man who was pronounced dead. He was definitely pronounced dead.
He was having his funeral.
All right. Definitely dead then. Definitely dead. Woke up, frothing at the mouth. Priest knocks him down in a circle, and then the priest dies. Oh man, yeah. That's pretty gnarly. Still gonna give it a 5.
All right,
you gotta. We'll cross the plane. I think I hope we'll cross the plane soon.
Yeah. Story 2. Here we go. One day, a woman on the Utica Little Falls bus was telling of a family in East Schulier who had an annual autumn visit from a city fellow who liked to help with the milking. One October, he didn't come, and no explanation accounted for his absence. But nobody thought about it much. Brutal. Then one morning, late in the fall, Henry, the old farmer who owned the place, was out milking when he felt a tap on the shoulder. He turned around to see his city friend standing by him. "Can I help you milker, Henry?" was all he said. Henry got up and let him finish milking, thinking no more about it except that his friend had decided to come after all. Henry wasn't one of those fellows who thinks you have to waste a lot of breath talking. Probably would have been a good podcast host, tell you that much. The newcomer milked until the pail was full, whereupon he handed it to Henry and walked to the house. At breakfast, Henry took a good deal of ribbing from his family after he asked where their visitor was and told them about the milking. He didn't say a thing, not even the next week, when word came that their friend had died down in New York the morning he was there milking up in East Schulier.
So, is this Dateline again? Guy shows up, a wayward stranger shows up from out of town, and then taps his shoulder, and then the guy. So who died? I'm a little confused here.
So every year, this friend from New York City would come up and help milk the cows. Didn't show up when he was supposed to, but then maybe a couple weeks later, he shows up to milk the cow. They don't really talk. His buddy who owns the farm just lets him milk the cow, and then Henry the farmer goes back, and they're like, "He died this morning." We just heard.
So who's he?
The guest milker.
The guest milker died. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Milking a cow with a ghost? Pretty scary.
We're gonna jump to 3.5. I don't know.
Okay.
I feel like Supernatural is what really does it for me. What this feels more like Sounds like an unsolved. This sounds like a CSI episode.
But he died in New York City that morning, and later that evening was milking in upstate New York.
Got it.
How does a dead man milk a cow?
Okay,
could still be Dateline.
Got it. Now I see where we're going here. That's the nugget. Is very very Twilight Zone-ish. Like that man died 20 years ago. He had a mission. Yep. He had to fulfill the mission. So
you gotta milk that cow.
That feels like an unfulfilled mission per se than like demonic possession, jumping out of coffins type vibe. So
it's kind of a nice story, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say this feels like a nice. That's a nicer story. Still a little wild, because he's supposed to be dead. But he's not. Maybe it's like RoboCop. We killed you.
Oh.
He comes back again.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I know.
Anywho.
All right. So this is like, I think this is 2 or 3. And he's kind of to a part in the book where he's talking about not full ghosts, like might be body parts or, just like literally not full ghosts.
Like a cyborg?
Well, no, just floating hands or something. This
got
first
it.
sentence will
Okay,
yeah.
Got it. I see what you're saying. Okay.
Ghost cyborg. Can we
write that down?
Copyright that right now. Write that down. Okay. In Pittstown, there is a house, I am told, where on the anniversary of a murder, a pair of bloody hands appears on the front door. And from the North Woods comes a story of a man whose fishing one day netted him nothing but long strands of women's hair. And after his wife had dried the hair out by the fire, why would you take that home? It continued to make a sound like the dripping of water. And in the middle of the night, a voice came from the hair to tell the woman of a murder and how the body must be taken from the lake and buried. Every night the dripping continued. The voice never came again until word had been passed on to the authorities for the raising of the body. But most spectacular of all is the ghost that appears limb by limb, then head and torso, each part rolling down the stairs of the house he haunts in Poughkeepsie. So in like a severed arm rolls down the stairs, a severed leg rolls down the stairs, the torso rolls, just individual body parts. Body parts a la carte, if you will. And finally, the parts roll together, and there stands your ghost. Most people don't hang around very long looking at him. It is worth noting that only very rarely in the folklore of our people do the dead appear as skeletons, Halloween notwithstanding. So usually, like he's saying, usually it's bloody limbs and stuff. You don't get corny ass skeletons.
Right. This is some real like jigsawed body together.
Mm-hmm.
If you will.
How's that? Where does body parts rolling down the stairs that later form into a bloody ghost fall? Also, don't forget the ball of hair that was talking.
So is that a separate story then? Or this...
Separate story. Yeah. This is again. He has so many goddamn ghost stories. He's just throwing them all together.
I feel like the bloody hands and the hair, that's scary. I'll give that a 6.
Talking hair that you pulled out of the Erie Canal, pretty eerie.
Yeah, sounds like someone owed some money. If I didn't know any better. Body, we'll give that a 7. That's wild. That's pretty nuts.
Yeah, those are just a few excerpts. Again, it's just story after story, and again, kind of just like, just a pair of hands that only gets one sentence. Body that rolls down, part by part. We'll give that a short paragraph. All right, so now this is I'll call it the main event. This is a ghost story that, somehow didn't. I don't think either of us found when we did our last Upstate Hauntings, but it's a pretty famous one. So famous that Robert Louis Stevenson wrote a poem based off of it, which I will not be reciting. Don't worry. We're taking a real hard anti-poetry stance here.
Listen, man, there's
last week's review.
There's a time and place for that.
That's true.
For that kind of affair.
That is true. But I am going to recount this tale. All right. So this is this famous story when Robert Louis Stevenson wrote it. He called it Ticonderoga, a Legend of the West Highlands. And it's about a ghost at Fort Ticonderoga, which I was just near. All right. Are you ready to be scared, Jim?
Let's go.
All right. Duncan Campbell was the laird of the castle of Inverurie on the banks of the River Awe. I'm saying all these Scottish names terribly wrong. Apologies. In the Scottish Highlands. In the days after Bonnie Prince Charlie's attempt to take back the British throne from the Stuarts, quarrels and name-calling continued in Scotland, sometimes with the sharpest bitterness. One evening, a party of gentlemen in the neighborhood of Inverurie became involved in what was at first a political argument and soon turned into a brawl. In the midst of the hot words and drawn swords, one man fell to the floor, another sped off in the darkness to rap on the door of Castle Inverurie, asking for sanctuary. True to Scottish traditions of hospitality, the young laird took the fugitive in and hid him in the far recesses of the castle, swearing on his dirk and as head of the clan to protect the man from pursuers. Almost as soon as he returned to the hall, two clansmen brought word to Duncan Campbell that his own cousin Donald had been slain, and he realized that he was protecting his kinsman's murderer. So Duncan gets a knock on his door. Dude looking for shelter, brings him in. Scottish law custom at the time. Anyone in your custody, it's your duty to protect them. Then he figures out that guy killed his cousin. Bit of a pickle.
Sure.
That night was an uneasy sleep. Don't worry, we're going to get to Upstate. I know we're in Scotland. We're bringing it around. Don't worry. That night was an uneasy sleep. Sometime in the darkest of the night, he opened his eyes to see his cousin, Donald, standing before him. Inverurie! 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 Blood has been shed. Shield not the murderer. The next morning, Campbell made a compromise with his conscience. He spirited his unwelcome guest to a cave on Ben Crouchen, a neighboring height. However well this solution may have satisfied his conscience, it did not please the ghost of his cousin Donald, whose second appearance came that very night, when he repeated his injunction of the night before. We do not know what Duncan Campbell intended to do, but shortly after daylight he went up to the cave only to find it deserted. That night he slept better than he had on the two preceding, but once more his dead cousin awoke him. Less angry this time, but no less decisive in his manner. Farewell, Inverurie, farewell till we meet at Ticonderoga. The word Ticonderoga meant nothing to the gentleman. I mean, he hadn't heard of the pencils yet, I guess. And since his cousin did not reappear, the matter drifted from his mind to be almost forgotten. He joined the Black Watch soon after this and was busy keeping peace and order in the Highlands. I think it was like an army regimen. Eventually, he became a major and served the regiment well, going with it to America a year or so after the war with France broke out. By this time, Ticonderoga had come to have a double meaning for him. For while it ever brought back the solemn voice of his ghostly cousin, it had also become, in the plans of the army, an objective that had to be captured if the French were to be driven from the colonies. His fellow officers knew the story and did all in their power to prevent him from worrying as they sailed up Lake George with their bright banners flying that July day in 1758. As they camped the night before the battle, his cousin Donald came to him for the last time, simply saying, "Duncan Campbell, we have met at Ticonderoga." He told his fellow soldiers that he would meet his end that day during one of the gallant, needless charges against the sharply pointed trees the French had cut to form an outer defense of the fort, Duncan Campbell received the wound he died of a few days later. Ooh.
So much there. Now, again, maybe I'm a sucker for hair and lakes. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm a guy for bodies jumping out of caskets.
Sure. Sure.
I don't know, Rob.
Yeah. I'm not a Scottish lord, so I don't think I have much to be afraid of. Though I do go to the around Ticonderoga somewhat regularly. So,
there's that.
There is that. There's also that's a different fort. There's a headless ghost at Fort Niagara. We didn't have time to talk about him, but he lives in a well. It's cool.
Sure.
So, we've got a couple different fort ghosts. I presume we've got like this almost 300-year-old ghost walking around cursing his cousin. Pretty cool. Got a, ghost with a kilt in Ticonderoga of all places.
Of all the places in the great upstate New York. Who'd have thought?
I think it's the weirdest story in that Robert Louis Stevenson wrote a poem about a ghost in Scotland that then went and kind of murdered his cousin.
Right.
It's weird.
I'm still. So how did? Okay, I get it. Now I'm like Scotland, upstate New York. Help me make it make sense.
He was just. We don't have time to retell it.
Yeah, I'll be scared. That's fine. If you want, I'm terrified.
The Cliff Notes is a guy in Scotland harbors the man that murdered his cousin. The ghost cousin visits his cousin. I'm using the word cousin too much for this to make it any simpler. Visits his buddy Donald, his cousin Donald. Is like, hey, you gotta kill that guy, or else I'm going to spell your doom in the future at Ticonderoga. He thinks he comes up with a compromise, moves him to a cave. That's still sheltering him, though. Ghost cousin comes back. It's like, you fucked up, Donald. I'm going to see you at Ticonderoga. Years pass. Everyone knows this goofy story. And, the word Ticonderoga means nothing to him until he's sent there. It's a real battle and a bit of a quagmire for, I think, the Scottish and English attacking the French. Anyway, his ghost's cousin is like, hey, we're in Ticonderoga. Have fun dying, buddy. And then and Donald dies later that day.
Okay. Now that the contextualized version of the story. I'm still like, I don't know. It's more spooky than scary. Like, again, I need more visceralness. I think.
Look, it's the ghost story that created a framework for so many talking hairballs in the next 200 years. I like to think. It's like the granddaddy of upstate ghost stories. So, it's like much, scary movies from the 50s aren't very scary today.
Sure.
In their time. Again, if you were a Scottish lord, pretty fucking scary.
There's some terrifying shit that's happened in Binghamton.
Sure.
Yeah. There's some real there's things that go bump in the night in the 607. I can tell you that with the utmost certainty.
I believe it. Well, that's all I've got for ghost stories. Upstate Hauntings, if you will, part 2.
Sure.
Stay tuned for Upstate Hauntings part 3, 2025 edition.
2025. Oh yeah. You want to? You're just gonna power this through all the way throughout the.
Oh yeah.
Till infinity and beyond.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's got to be more headlines out there. I'm just gonna find one ghost story a week, and we got an episode.
Listen, man, I'm trying to tell you, there's scary
shit. On my Dateline.
I can walk you down some terrifying places on the west side of Binghamton.
Well, look, you don't have to do anything scary this week, Speedy Freaks and Rattlesnake Peaks. All you got to do is like, subscribe, rate, and review the show. If you throw us a 5-star rating and a positive review, and just type some kind words about the show while you like it, you can also throw in a suggestion for your favorite talking ball of hair from upstate New York for us to cover on an upcoming episode. Again, do that. It really, really helps us out. Jim.
Yes.
While everyone's waiting for Upstate Hauntings Volume 3 and another 52 episodes, what are some things our fair listeners can enjoy between now and then?
All right, so check this out. Let's say you bludgeoned your entire family, right? Like you're in Buffalo, right? You had enough. You killed them, and now you are rotting in purgatory because you're awaiting your sentence in the afterlife. But you need some levity. You need something to laugh at, right? You got, because this is a very stressful time. Buy my album, Upstate Understandings. Bring it with you into the afterlife. And I don't care what you do after you buy it. You do that whatever you want. But when you buy it, just know that you're going towards a great place. jimsearch.bandcamp.com is a place to get a hold of that. Any digital streaming platform, wherever you get your sounds, you can find that album. jimsearchcomedy.com is a good place to find me as far as shows and stuff like that. I think I got a show. Oh, I'm at the Bushwick Comedy Club on the 19th of October. So go ahead and get some tickets for that. It's going to be a great time. That's a brand new club opened up, and they're doing some good shit over there. So go check me out, go check them out, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. On all social media, I'm at Jim Search. So follow me, and I might follow you back. Depends on what your page looks like. If it's fucking wild, I probably won't. But if you got some good shit in there, I'll follow you. Rob. They've gone to the afterlife. They brought my album with them. Is there anything else that they could possibly bring with them along for that trip?
Sure. Let's just say you were out fishing and you didn't catch any fish, but you caught a ball of hair that's talking to you. You brought it home to your wife. That was mistake maybe number 2 that you made. You should have just thrown that ball of hair back into the lake. Brought it home to your wife like, hey, can you dry this talking ball of hair for me? She says yes, but then immediately files some divorce paperwork. You're about to be divorced. All you have is a talking ball of hair that's telling you where to find its body. You're going to have to put in some work. You don't know how to dredge a lake.
Right.
You got a big project in front of you. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to brooklynfrequency.bandcamp.com, grab my album, New York Sticky. It's going to help you, do all those YouTube and, dare I say, Bing searches to figure out how to dredge a lake, how to find a lost body, and reunite this woman's body and soul so she can move on to the afterlife, all while listening to the inspiring jams on New York Sticky. Also, we've got a documentary that's a behind-the-scenes look at the making of Jim's album. Link in the description for all of these lovely offerings from us. Speaking of lovely offerings, Jim, what are we going to be offering up as a topic for next week?
Oh, man. Well, listen, as we stay with our supernatural vibe we got going on here, let's just say that we might be going below sea level for some activities next week.
I like it. And as you hinted at, we're doing kind of spooky, scary topics all this month for October. Last week, Jim so beautifully and dutifully recapped his time at Sterling Fest 2024. I think it might be your longest episode and one of our best. So go check it out.
Yeah, that was a fun time. So go listen to me relive 2 ironing boards in an elevator.
There you go. Well, it's time to close this sucker out. Are you ready for a closing transition, Jim?
Oh, I'm ready. I'm ready for that.
All right, well, I need to scare up some articles for next week's episode, so let's get on out of here.
Oh, man. Unreal.
That was actually a good one.
That was a good one. Nah, don't sell yourself short here. I'm trying to tell you. That was a good one. Understanding Upstate is a podcast hosted by Jim Search and Rob Adler, edited by Rob Adler, and music from Regal Monk.